After a storm or hail event in Florida, can you just repair the damaged section or do you need a full replacement? The answer determines whether you spend $2,000 or $20,000, and most homeowners get it wrong. Welcome to the channel. My name is Otis, and I'm the roof inspector of Central Florida. In this video, you're going to learn exactly when section repair is possible after storm or hail damage, when full replacement is necessary, how insurance companies make this determination, and most importantly, the biggest mistakes homeowners make that cost them thousands in denied claims or unnecessary expenses. If you have experienced recent storm or hail damage and want a professional assessment of whether you need section repair or full replacement, the link to schedule your free inspection is in the description below. Don't make this decision based on guesswork or what a contractor trying to sell you something tells you. Let me start with the most common mistake I see. Homeowners notice damage in one area of their roof after a storm and immediately assume they can just patch the section and be done with it. Or worse, they let a contractor patch it without understanding the full extent of the damage. 6 months later, they're dealing with leaks in other areas and realizing they wasted money on a repair that didn't solve the real problem. The short answer: can you repair just a section of a roof after hail damage instead of replacing a whole roof? Yes, sometimes. But whether you should depends on factors most homeowners don't consider until it's too late. Understanding storm damage versus hail damage. First, let's distinguish between these two types of damage because they affect your roof differently and have different repair implications. Storm damage, that's basically wind and rain. Damage is typically localized. High winds might rip off shingles in one section, damaging flashing around a chimney or a skylight or something like that, or after affecting most exposed areas of your roof like edges and peaks. Because wind damage is often concentrated in specific areas, section repair is frequently viable for storm damage. Section repair is frequently viable for storm damage if the rest of the roof is in good condition. Wind-driven rain damage usually follows the path of least resistance. It finds existing weak points. If your roof was already compromised, storm damage will expose those vulnerabilities. Hail damage. Here's what most homeowners don't understand about hail. It doesn't just hit one section of your roof. Hail falls from the sky across your entire roof surface. While damage might appear worse in certain areas based on roof slope, wind direction, during the hail event, and existing roof condition, hail typically creates widespread damage across the entire roof, not isolated damage. This is why hail damage claims more often result in full roof replacement rather than section replacement. Insurance adjusters know this, and they'll inspect your entire roof, not just the area you notice. When section repair makes sense after hail damage or storm damage, section repair is the right choice in specific situations. Your roof is relatively young, 10 years old. If you have a 7-year-old roof with isolated wind damage to one section, repairs make perfect sense. You're preserving a roof with significant life remaining. If an inspection confirms that only one area it was affected, maybe maybe a tree branch fell on one section, or wind damage is concentrated on one corner, and the rest of the roof is completely sound. Repair works. The rest of your roof is in excellent condition. This is critical. If your overall roof shows no signs of aging, deterioration, or other damage, repairing the damaged section integrates well with the healthy surrounding roof. You can match materials. If your shingles are current and matching replacements are available, the repair will blend properly. This matters for both functions and appearance. Your insurance approves section repair. If your adjuster determines that section repair is appropriate and will cover it, that's a strong indicator it's viable. When full replacement is necessary, even if damage look isolated, on visible damage and ignore the bigger picture. Full replacement is necessary when your roof is over 12 to 15 years old, even if hail or storm damage appears isolated. If your roof is approaching end of life anyways, section repair is throwing away money at a dying roof. You'll be replacing the whole thing within a few years, regardless, and you will have wasted money on the section repair. Hail damage is present. If you have confirmed hail damage, it's almost never just in one spot. Hail affects the entire roof. An adjuster will test multiple areas, and if they find widespread hail impacts, they'll require full replacement. Trying to repair just one section when the entire roof has been compromised by hail is futile. The surrounding roof shows signs of aging if the undamaged areas show curling, granular loss, brittleness, or aging indicators. Section repair creates a situation where you have one new section and an old failing roof. The old sections will fail soon, and you'll be doing this again. If your shingles are discontinued or matching is impossible, a section repair will look terrible and may not integrate properly with the existing roof system. This affects both performance and home value. If storm or hail damage affected several different sections of your roof, you're better off replacing the whole entire thing rather than creating a patchwork of repairs. If the inspection reveals poor ventilation, damaged decking across large areas, or sectional concerns, section repair won't address these systematic problems. How insurance companies determine repair versus replacement. Understanding how insurance adjusters make this determination helps you know what to expect. From storm damage, the adjuster will assess the extent of the damage. If it's under 30 to 40% of the roof surface and the rest is sound, they'll typically approve roof section repair. They'll evaluate whether the damage is isolated to one plane or section of the roof. If, if so, they might approve replacing just that section. They'll consider the age of your roof. If it's old, they might push for replacement. If it's newer, they'll favor repair. As to hail damage, adjusters use a test square method. They examine 10 feet by 10 feet sections in multiple areas of your roof, not just where you notice the damage. They count hail impacts per square. If they find a certain threshold of impacts, usually usually 10 to 12, 8 to 10 across multiple areas, that triggers full replacement. They'll examine your entire roof because they know hail doesn't discriminate, it hits everywhere. They'll also look at collateral hail damage on vents, gutters, units, and other roof elements. This corroborates the hail event and the extent of damage. The biggest mistake I see, not getting a professional inspection before the insurance adjuster. Here's a mistake that costs homeowners thousands. They file a claim for storm or hail damage without knowing the full extent of the damage first. Then the insurance adjuster comes out, finds more damage than the homeowner realized, and the homeowner is caught off guard. Or worse, the adjuster finds pre-existing conditions and uses that to deny or reduce the claim. Or the opposite happens. The homeowner thinks they need full replacement, files a claim, and the adjuster determines it's minor damage, requiring only a section repair. The homeowner gets a fraction of what they expected and still has a claim on their record. Here's what you should do instead. Step 1. After a storm or hail event, schedule a professional inspection immediately before you call your insurance company. Step 2. The inspector documents all damage, not just what you notice. They identify whether damage is isolated or widespread, recent storm damage versus pre-existing conditions, and the areas the insurance adjuster would definitely examine. Step 3. Armed with this information, you can make an informed decision about whether to file a claim at all. And if you do, you know what to expect from the adjuster. Step 4. You have documentation and photos proving the extent of damage, which protects you if the adjuster tries to lowball or deny your claim. Step 5. You know whether section repair or full replacement is appropriate before anyone tries to sell you anything. This process prevents nightmare scenario where you file a claim, get denied, or reduced to insignificant damage or pre-existing conditions. And now you have a claim on your record with nothing to show for it. The pre-existing condition trap. The second biggest mistake I see. Homeowners don't realize their roof had problems before the storm or hail event, and insurance uses this to deny their claim. Here's how that happens. A storm comes through, you notice damage, you file a claim, the adjuster inspects and finds that yes, there's some storm damage, but your roof also shows significant aging, previous damage, or deterioration that existed before this storm. The adjuster says, we can't determine what damage is versus pre existing conditions. Claim denied. Or they say, we'll cover 40% of the replacement because 60% of the damage is pre existing, wear and tear. Either way, you're stuck with major out of pocket costs. How to avoid this trap? Get your roof inspected regularly before storm season. If you have documentation showing your roof was in good condition before the storm, you can prove any damage found after the storm is legitimate storm damage. Alternatively, get inspected immediately after a storm before any secondary damage occurs. Evidence disappears. The closer your inspection is to the storm date, the stronger your claim. Understanding the matching problem here is something that surprises homeowners when they try to do section repair. Understanding the matching problem, here's something that surprises homeowners when they try to do section repair. Matching your existing shingles is often impossible. Shingle manufacturers change product lines every few years, colors change slightly, manufacturing processes evolve. Even if you find the same shingle, it won't match your weathered existing shingles. This creates two problems. Aesthetics problem. The repaired section will be noticeably different in color from the rest of the roof. For some homeowners, this is unacceptable. Functional problem. Different shingle batches might have slightly different specifications, and integrating new shingles old can create weak points where the two sections meet. Insurance companies know this. If matching is impossible, they're more likely to approve full replacement rather than section repair that will look terrible and potentially fail at the integration points. What about one plane of your roof? Sometimes the solution is between section repair and full replacement, replacing one entire plane on your slope or roof. Many roofs have multiple planes, front slope, back slope, side sections, etc. If storm or hail damage is concentrated on one plane and that plane can be replaced independently without affecting the others, this might be the right approach. For example, the south facing slope of your roof takes the brunt of the hail damage. The north facing slope is fine. Replacing just the damaged slope might cost $6,000 to $8,000 versus $15,000 to $18,000 for the whole roof. Insurance companies often approve this approach because it addresses all damage on the affected area completely. It maintains roof integrity better than patching small sections. It's more cost effective than full replacement. When truly only one area is damaged, the key is getting professional assessment to determine if this approach is viable for your specific damage and roof configuration. The repair now, replace later scenario. Sometimes homeowners ask, Can I repair now to stop the immediate problem and then replace the whole roof later when I have more money? Here's my honest answer. This usually doesn't work out well. If you repair a section now and then replace the whole entire roof in a year or two, you've essentially paid twice for that section. Once for the roof repair, once for the replacement. If your roof is old enough that replacement in the near future anyway, it's better to find a way to finance the full replacement now rather than spending $3,000 on a section repair that you'll tear off and throw away when you replace the roof. The only time this makes sense is if your roof is young, basically under 10 years old. The section repair genuinely extends the life of your overall roof for many more years. Questions to ask during your inspection. When you get your post storm or post hail inspection, ask these questions. Is the damage isolated or did you find problems across the entire roof? This tells you if section repair or even viable. What's the overall condition of the areas that weren't directly damaged? If the rest of your roof is aging, section repair might not make sense. Can you identify this damage as definitely from the recent storm or hail event? Or might insurance see it as pre-existing conditions? This helps avoid your claim denials. Will I be able to match materials for a certain section repair? If not, you need to know up front, if I repair just this section, what is the realistic lifespan of the rest of the roof? This helps you calculate whether section repair makes financial sense. Based on the extent of damage, will insurance likely approve section repair or require full replacement? An experienced inspector knows what adjusters look for. What do you recommend and why? Get their honest professional opinion. The insurance claims process for storm, hail damage. Here's the process if you're considering filing a claim. Step 1. Get a professional inspection immediately after the storm or hail event. Don't wait weeks or months. Step 2. The inspector documents all the damage with photos and detailed notes. They should provide you with a written report. They should provide you with a written report. Step 3. Review the inspection report to understand the full extent of the damage or whether it's claim worthy. Step 4. If the damage exceeds your deductible and is legitimate storm damage, hail damage, and not pre-existing, file your insurance claim. Step 5. When the adjuster comes, you already know what they should find because you've had it inspected. You can advocate for yourself if they try to minimize damage or deny pre-existing conditions that don't exist. Step 6. If the adjuster assessment matches your inspection, great. If there's a major discrepancy, you have documentation to dispute their findings. Step 7. Once insurance approves the claim and determines section repair or full replacement, get quotes from licensed contractors for approved work. This process puts you in control rather than being at the mercy of whatever the insurance adjuster decides. The bottom line, you can't know without inspection. Here's what it all comes down to. You cannot determine whether section repair or full replacement is appropriate after storm or hail damage without a thorough professional inspection. You can't tell from the ground. You can't tell from seeing one area of the damage. You can't tell based on your roof's age alone. You need someone on your roof examining every section, determining all damage, assessing overall condition, and giving you an informed recommendation. That inspection needs to happen before you call your insurance company, before contractor quotes, and before you make any decisions. If you have experienced storm or hail damage in Central Florida, don't guess about whether you need section repair or full replacement. Don't let the first contractor who knocks on your door make that decision for you. And definitely don't file an insurance claim without knowing the full extent of damage first. I offer free, no pressure inspections Where I'll assess all damage, identify what's from the recent storm versus any pre-existing conditions, give you any honest recommendation about it, repair versus replacement, document everything for your insurance claim, and answer all your questions. The link to schedule is in the description below. Don't wait on this. The sooner you document storm or hail damage after the event, the stronger your insurance claim and the better your options. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. And drop a comment below about your specific situation. I'm Otis, the roofing inspector of Central Florida. Thanks.